The NHL is back, and that means PuckTime is back. Welcome in, guys. Hope you all are having a really, really good month and enjoying the great hockey we saw at the Olympics. But we are back and ready to go with the NHL. Hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of a break, and hope you're ready to rock and roll because we've got Carmine, we've got Prez, we've got myself, we've got Buster, we've got Brian, we've got all kinds of cappers locked and loaded, ready to go. And if you missed yesterday, we had a nice show with Ralph and Brian. Of course, Carmine is always with me, breaking things down as well. How we're going to approach a unique situation with no NHL hockey for around 2 weeks and how we'll try and make some money coming out of it. But looking forward to being back here, guys. NHL hockey tonight. Carm, I didn't know if I'd be able to stomach it because some of these games are going to be a little bit different than the high quality hockey we saw over the last 2 weeks. But you know what? Last night, going over the board, doing my work, I started to get pretty excited for it.
Yeah, listen, I experience it all the time with like European soccer and then the MLS, two different kinds of styles. But yeah, like I'm excited for the NHL to be back. Been doing a lot of work during the Olympic break in order to try and map out some paths to making money for clients as well too, because we ended up on a good run, 17-5 for clients to close out. I wish the All-Star break, or sorry, the Olympic break hadn't come, but here we are. 8 games in action tonight. Some players missing. We're going to mention some of those as we go. We are going to talk. We're going to give the final word on the USA and Canada game to the Prez, and then he is going to do the Toronto and Tampa Bay game being played down in Tampa. You and I are going to do Buffalo and New Jersey, and then we're going to finish it off with the Vegas Golden Knights, LA Kings, a same game parlay with some player props, hopefully from you. And the pod returns. The pod went into the break with a winner on the Ottawa Senators, and we're going to come out of the break with another winner. And you guys are going to have to wait till the end of the show to get that. But Andrew, you know, listen, I've been joking around with a lot of my friends, my American friends, whether it be on the X or on WhatsApp or what have you, about the whole Canada-US rivalry and what have you. And I've used the same line with them all the time. I go, listen, Canada is so grateful to the US in the sense of that we have 2 Thanksgivings up here, our regular Thanksgiving, and then we have Thanksgiving when you guys have Thanksgiving. So we get to celebrate it twice. So we gave you Christmas twice. You have your regular Christmas, and then we gifted you a gold medal at this year's Olympics. So enjoy your Christmas present. That's all I'm going to say to that, and I'm going to throw it over to the Prez because I know he's got plenty to talk about as far as the USA and Canada. Prez, welcome to the show.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here. Excited that the NHL season is amongst us, and super happy Canada lost the gold medal game. Pretty pumped about that. Go America. How are you?
Well, Prez, we're all routine people, and I'll tell you, like, I'm used to being in this chair every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, doing this show, and you know, I'll be completely frank, I don't get up at 6 a.m. Eastern every day to, you know, usually get my day going, but I had a pretty good sleep schedule going, better than I probably will now when the Olympics were going on to watch all of those games. So a little bit different now, but you mentioned you were happy with the result. I'm starting to be happy for maybe different reasons, just for the game growing. I think as much as it sickens me to see them lose, it was probably good for the game overall. But routine wise, you know, we talked yesterday with Ralph and Brian. Anything you want to add before you dive into your handicap about kind of just jumping in?
Sure. So let me say this about Canada losing. Firstly, I'm happy with Canada losing everything. Everybody knows where I'm at right now. I'm completely anti-Canada in this particular phase of my life. With that said, I understand that I get a lot of grief because I happen to live in Canada and I do talk about Canadian teams, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to throw this at you guys. Do you think that we would have known how great Canada is in hockey if we won? If we won, it would have been ho-hum. Instead, Canada loses, and America is in such shock that it's mentioned in the State of the Union that Trump has an immediate phone call. They bring all these guys to America. All of these guys think beating Canada was so incredible that they're missing their NHL games tonight because they are still partying. So I don't think Canadian hockey has ever gotten a bigger compliment in its entire life than have the 10 times population country below it stop everything and celebrate as if somebody landed on the moon. So
let me ask you this, because Andrew said, he was sickened by the fact that Canada lost. Do I have empathy? Not towards Andrew, but Lawrence, or have I just become numb because empathy. Canada loses the game? Sympathy or whatever. Anyways, let me get to my point. Canada loses the game, and like 2 hours later, I could care less. Yeah. It's just I start watching something on TV, and I don't. And just wondering if is that because of years of being beaten down as a Buffalo Bills fan, where we make it to 4 Super Bowls and I watch them lose 4 consecutive Super Bowls. Each year it is supposed to be the Josh Allen year, and it's not the Josh Allen year. Each year the Sabres are going to finally make the playoffs, and then they don't make the playoffs. Is it one of those ones of which I've hitched my chain to like losing organizations? So losing is just commonplace. It just doesn't bug me anymore.
Yeah, maybe for you. Look, I didn't care after 2 hours either. One of the listeners wrote, wouldn't you all have had a parade if you had won? I don't think so, right?
No.
There would not have been a parade.
We didn't have a parade. We didn't have the last time we won. No.
Yeah, I don't know. No, we would not have had a parade. I would say Canada should have a parade now based on how complimentary America's reaction is to winning. But I'll ask you another question, Carm. As a Canadian fan of the Canadian hockey team, would you have rather been completely and totally dominated to the point of embarrassment and won on a fluke? Or would you have rather embarrassed the other team and totally dominated and lost on a fluke?
Yeah, no, I get it. And I would have rather dominated. When they interviewed the USA players at the end of the game, and I think Dylan Larkin was one of them, he clearly said, he goes, they were the better team, but we had Hellebuck. He played a hell of a game, right? Yeah. A goalie will win you games. But with that said, and then just to answer one other thing in the chat, because one guy, it is probably one of the weakest arguments or statements I see all the time, which is Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup in years, since 1993. Canada pretty much wins the cup every year. If you do a little research and you go and look at every team's roster that has won the Stanley Cup the last 5, 6, 7 years, what you're going to see is 30 to 40% Canadians on it. You're going to see a bunch of Europeans on it, and then you're going to see about 10% Americans on it. So this is what you need to think. It is like saying to you guys, the Toronto Raptors, absolutely a Canadian team, destroyed the U.S. in every single franchise, when meanwhile 11 of our 12 players were American on the team.
Yeah.
Right? It makes no sense. Or the Blue Jays winning the World Series those back-to-back years. How many players were American on the team? A bunch of them. How many were Canadian? Very few, if any. That argument doesn't hold water.
Carm, what? I just, guys, I got to run in 5 minutes. Let me just say this. I am personally good if we just combine the two countries and call it America.
Listen,
I'll say this, Carm, if I can. I'll just say this. I was doing a couple of shows yesterday. As you guys know, I was super happy to be doing work with the Hockey News, and it's almost it's harder to dissect the game and what happened for Team Canada because of what Prez said. And you said it too, Carm. They got goalied. So it's harder to look at, like, Prez, I know you got to go, so I'll go to you for your breakdown with Leafs and Lightning, but it's hard to look at when people ask me, what went wrong? What could they have done? What would have been different? You know what I mean? And it's hard to give answers because of outshooting a team by double and a player missing an empty net. It's almost like if they lost 4-1, I would almost feel less sad because at least they deserve to lose, right?
No, wrong. That is the complete opposite of what I said. We would rather know if you're if you're a fan of Team Canada, which I'm not, but if you're a fan of Team Canada, you would rather they completely and totally dominate. That's my attitude. But anyway, guys, I got to get into my breakdown for tonight's game. And I've just been talking to Johnny because I got a huge play in NHL tonight. And I set up a promo code and I let the head office know. And Johnny responds with, Prez, every time you have a big play, you put up a promo code. You can't do it every time. Well, I did it today. So we do have a promo code for my big play, Prez20. And that gets you $9 off. I know it's a weird number, but the package was $29, so I made it $9 off. And guys, to give you perspective, this is one of those plays. I come on here every now and again, and I tell you I have a 4% or 5% NHL money line bet. This is the strongest bet I have. Period. End of story. 44-19. That's 69%. In like close 4 years, 5 years since 2022, 4 years. I can't do math, but 44-19 over that time period. I'm up 165 units in the last 4 years on these plays. 165 units, on and on and on. This is the strongest play I have consistently. It is over at WagerTalk.com. You guys can get it for $9 off. Use the promo code PREZ20. As for the Leafs playing Tampa Bay tonight, boys, look, I don't mean to sound like a homer here. Everybody knows I cheer for the Leafs. But I think this is a good spot for the Leafs tonight, as given the line. We're getting plus 200. And, it's not like Tampa Bay is coming into this game hot. They've been sitting their players for 2.5 weeks. John Cooper's not coming into this game thinking how to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's probably still working on how to beat the Riddler and Mr. Freeze. Yes, I think he looks exactly like Michael Keaton from Batman. There's just too much value on this Toronto Maple Leaf team. They're coming into this game. They had won 3 in a row entering this game. This is a team that is in absolute must-win mode. Austin Matthews will be playing tonight. At plus 200, Andrew and Carm, I can't pull away from that, man. That is a massive number. To give you, there has not been a Toronto plus 200 against Tampa Bay in decades.
No,
yeah, and I think
listen,
go ahead, Carm.
Go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, I mean, when we talked yesterday with Brian and Ralph Prez about being careful with these big favorites out of the break, right? We're talking about new routine, talking about a clean slate a little bit here. When you look at a big favorite like that, the Maple Leafs were actually one of the teams that in a category of the fewest players at the Olympics. So I don't know about you, but that's one aspect of
I think that's a good thing.
Yes, that's one thing I'm using is we saw it last year post 4 nations. Teams that didn't have a lot of players on those 4 countries ended up going on a pretty good run after the 4 nations.
Yeah. So I just want to address this guy I love, Michael Slumba. The Leafs are losers, just like Team Canada and just like the Prez. Michael, I got to run. But to give you perspective, I'm sitting in my 5,000 square foot home. I got a stunning pool in the backyard. I drive a BMW M5 electric. I own a house in Whistler, which I'm going to on Saturday. I co-founded WagerTalk. WagerTalk is a multi-million dollar company. So if you consider, and I got action last night at 56. So if you consider that a loser, I'll take it all day long, baby. Love you guys. Thanks for having me.
I would have started with I got action last night and then named off all the other
That's
stuff.
true. At 56, so action last
order of
night.
Importance is Prez, get out
Michael,
of here, man.
Michael's, I have a bank account where I tip people. That is more than Michael's net worth. Love you guys.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, you know what, dude? You're going to call me a loser. I wanted to, is what it is. I love you people so much.
All right, get out of here. Good luck with your play tonight.
All right, Carm.
Let's get rid of him.
Get rid of me, baby.
All right, let me get rid of him. Hold on. Boom. There he is.
Get that guy out of here. There he is. All right, Prez.
Gone, but not forgotten. Oh God, it is like the first show of the season. You know, it's gonna be a little bit rocky road ahead, but we love you guys in the chat. You know, the Prez, he's always going to bring a little different edge to the show, and we do appreciate him for that. Andrew, they're a team that has like a 10% chance of making the playoffs. The Leafs. I get it. It's an attractive price. I just can't take it. Right. So that's my rebuttal on this. We needed to get rid of him because he's got a show to do, the best betting show with Joe Ranieri and Art Caesar. But, you know, with that said, Tampa Bay is right in there. Top spot right now. They're trying to hold off Carolina. They have a chance at the number one record overall because I think they're only 5 points back of Colorado as far as the President's Trophy goes. So this has been a phenomenal season. And you look at their goal differential, it's something like in the plus 50s for this team. They're not just winning games, they're dominating games. We'll see out of the break. It's always tough out of the break, but I think it's a little easier out of the break at home as opposed to being on the road. So we'll see what Tampa does tonight. And we know that it'll be Vasilevsky in goal. So the goaltending advantage clearly lies with Tampa Bay in this one.
Yeah.
Speaking of goaltending, Andrew, let's go to Buffalo in New Jersey for this one. The Sabres, minus 108. New Jersey, minus 112. The total sits here at 6. And I believe, as my good friend TJ Salvador says, can you pronounce the guy's name properly? I believe it's going to be Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in goal for the Sabres tonight. Unconfirmed at the moment, hopefully confirmed shortly, but he is expected. Jake Allen going for the New Jersey Devils. He is confirmed. How are you playing this one?
Well, as I'm going to do probably with a lot of my games here, Carm, even though I did talk about it yesterday on the show we did on PuckTime, not everybody probably was able to catch that, so I'll just throw it out there. That when it comes to these two teams that are playing tonight, the Buffalo Sabres, they represented just 2 players at the Olympics, and the New Jersey Devils had 6 players at the Olympics. So we'll see how that bodes well for those two teams. One thing that Ralph talked about yesterday, Carm, we can do a little back and forth here, is that he said, you know, the slate is wiped clean right now. And so think about how red hot this Buffalo Sabres team was pretty much since 2026 came, you know, the brand new year. And so if there's one team in the league that probably did not want a break to happen, you'd probably say the Buffalo Sabres are one of those teams, you know? And so that kind of makes me think, but maybe the rest could be a good thing. But when you look at it here, Jack Hughes riding that high, you know, nobody knows what's going on with them. A lot of guys, you know, on that team that were a part of it. This is one of those situations where you see the number, kind of the way it opened up, the way the little bit of movement's pretty much towards a pick now. I'm going to rock with the road team. I'm going to rock with the team that had fewer players at the Olympics. And as much as I think that, you know, some of my analytics, the sites that I use, Carm, are kind of telling me that before the break, Buffalo was due for some regression. So maybe it could be a good thing for them to get back to the drawing board and come in focused. But what do you think? Is it a bad thing for the Sabres? They went into the break?
No, I actually think, and something that we talked about, like, teams are on win streaks going into the break as opposed to teams on losing streaks. The Sabres lost 3 of their last 4 games going into the Olympic break. So maybe they were running hot for so long that maybe that break helps it. Bodies rest and a lot of bodies at that, because only Tage Thompson for the gold medal USA team and only Rasmus Dahlin for the Swedish team were the ones that played in the Olympics. So everyone else on that team is rested. It allowed a guy like Eko Pukalukkonen, or oh my God, to get healthy again, because he was injured as well too. The Sabres finished on a 5-0-1 run on the road, though, picking up points in 6 straight games, 5 wins, one OT loss. So this is a team that were miserable at the beginning of the year. They could not win a game on the road to save their lives, and now they have, I think, their 7th or 8th best road record in the Eastern Conference. So they're winning games, whether it's at home, whether it's away. I'm pretty sure that Jack Hughes will not be in the lineup tonight for the New Jersey Devils. So we shall see what happens. But this price just, I think it's begging for people to want to bet on New Jersey at home. This is a team that is second from the bottom, not going to make the playoffs. I think they're just too far removed at this point. I think the Sabres are the right play here. So Sabres minus 108. And I'm putting all bias aside. I'm talking about a team that is well rested and ready for this game, and I think they get it done.
Yeah, and when you look at like high danger scoring chances, you definitely can give that edge to the Buffalo Sabres. So I think the big thing is going to be about, controlling the game flow out the gate, seeing if the New Jersey Devils are going to, be able to use this break to come out strong, or if they're going to kind of go back to the team they were, which is a team that, let's be honest, Carm, this is a team that was lacking depth. And I'll tell you what, I had I had a few people I talked to with some great conversations over the break that pretty much told me that this New Jersey Devils team is very, very close to making a big move. And I think that there's probably going to be some moves that end up taking place. This Devils team, the leash is short on them at this point. Like, I know, Carm, I've been talking about this a lot, so I want to get your take on this type of conversation, but like, we don't really know who the bad teams are. Like, we haven't known before the Olympic break. And we're about to find out in the next, I would say, 8 to 10 games, which teams are prepared to be sellers, which teams are prepared to be buyers and such. So would you agree that there's probably going to be some teams you find yourself betting on consistently or fading consistently moving forward?
Definitely there's going to be some teams, but it's finding how to bet against them. I'm sold on the fact that the Vancouver Canucks, who are in last place, are going to finish exactly where they are. They're going to make no movement whatsoever. And this is a team that needs a retool. We'll probably sell off some players and hope that they somehow win that draft lottery and get McKenna. It's where it is. The New York Rangers, a team that is miserable right now. And the Rangers, you look at the Rangers, and ironically, they have a 560 strength of schedule to close out. They have 25 games. They have 16 at home, 9 on the road. You would think, oh, that's a favorable schedule. The Rangers at home are absolutely horrific. What is the Rangers record at home? Let me see if I can find it, Andrew. Just give me a quick second. I think at one point they only had about 5 wins on home ice. The Rangers have 6 wins on home ice in 25 games. 6 wins at Madison Square Gardens in 25 games. The New York Rangers. If there's a team that needs a retool, it is the New York Rangers. They've already sent the bread man. He's gone to LA. Panarin, and we could see some other guys making the move. We know Shesterkin obviously was, the injury didn't help out there. Adam Fox, the injury didn't help out there, but might as well clean house. Get a guy like McKenna. It is one of those ones where if you hold, it's kind of like the Willy Wonka. You're hoping to have the ticket that gets you the golden ticket that gets you McKenna in the draft this year. If you watch him play, and I get it, it's at the college level or whatever, but if you look at some of the stuff he is doing at Penn State, it is absolutely phenomenal what this guy is doing.
8 points.
And
8 points in one game.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's amazing. So teams like the Rangers, I'm going to bet against. Teams like Vancouver, but how do you bet against a team like Vancouver when they are consistently going to be, the teams that are playing them are going to be -3, -350, -400? And that's what's going to happen. If you guys don't think that can happen, it happened a couple of years ago where in the last 3 weeks of the season, Andrew, we were seeing some teams were -450, -500, like Colorado playing like a San Jose that had sold off everybody. And you're like, -500. And it is just absolutely insane. But those are the prices. How do you bet them? You can't even take regulation because regulation is still like -280. So it is nuts. But I will find ways to bet those ones and try and use the home and away splits and the strength of schedule to our advantage as well too. Back-to-backs as well too. I talked about the LA Kings. 15 home games, 11 on the road. 8 of their 11 games on the road are against teams that are not in the playoffs right now, but they play 6 back-to-backs this in their last 26 games. That's tough for a team that now is missing Fiala as well too. So we shall see. But
I know.
Sabres
I got a feel for them, man. Like that is so tough. You pick up the bread man before the Olympic break, and then that happens. Like you pick up a guy like that. I mean, I said it to you on the show yesterday. The LA Kings have been dying to make a move, and they finally make a move. They go and make a big splash, Carm, and then Kevin Fiala gets injured. So a little bit tough.
Yeah.
Buff,
you never want to see a guy
level
get
is
injured.
Stronger than junior. I would say that players are older at the college level, but I would still say that more phenoms are coming out of junior hockey for now.
Yeah. It's I think this is going to be a good draft year, but you look at like some of the kids coming out. Bedard is only going to get better when he gets a supporting cast around him. Look at Macklin Celebrini and what he did in the Olympics. You know what I mean? And I get it. You can make a case, Andrew, that hey, you could put Carmine Bianco on a line with Connor McDavid and Nate McKinnon, and he's going to score a couple goals. No, Carm's not going to score a couple goals. Carm's going to fall flat on his ass. But the vision and the maturity that Macklin Celebrini showed in the Olympics can only make the San Jose Sharks feel better about the future that they have ahead of them. As long as the guy stays healthy. So which is always one of the most important things. And since we talked about Fiala, Andrew, we have to talk about the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, your first thought here, guys, when you're looking at this number is the Kings opened up as a small favorite and then grew to a bigger favorite, 147 plus 121 for the Vegas Golden Knights. 5.5 is the total in this one. So Bruce Cassidy confirmed that Hanifin and Jack Eichel would not be playing. He confirmed that yesterday. I don't see how that changes. The fact that they have a 5-game road trip, and they start that road trip here on the West Coast, and then they're going to the East Coast. Those other players are already on the East Coast. Why not leave them there instead of having them fly out for one game and then flying right back with the team to the East Coast? Doesn't make any sense. Give Eichel that extra day, have Hanifin that extra day. But Andrew, they have other guys that are missing from the lineup as well too, and that's why it's important to keep an eye on these lines as these come out. But from what I'm looking at and seeing here, let me see if I can see some other inactives for them. It says Mark Stone, inactive. Shea Theodore, inactive. I'm not sure if that is actually going to happen. Mitch Marner, inactive. Carter Hart's. Carter Hart's been put on the you got to love this, Andrew. 2 players. I don't know where Andrew is, but 2 players.
I'm right
Andrew,
here.
2 players the Vegas Golden Knights have put on the long-term injury reserve list in order to use a little bit of contract money for a trade.
Yeah.
I can see it happening. They need a spark. And we talked about this on yesterday's show. Vegas Golden Knights. I don't think there are, it's as weird as it sounds, that Pacific, because there are 4 teams, and this is a big one now. If somehow the LA Kings win tonight's game, there are only 6 points, I believe, back, or 7 points back of the Vegas Golden Knights, with a couple teams in front of them. There could be a lot of flip-flopping there, and Vegas has a 5-game road trip. They go to the East Coast for 4 games. They're going to play, I believe, Washington, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and the Detroit Red Wings. You know that they're going to give a hard time out of Detroit's going to give them a hard time. The Sabres will give them a hard time. Washington is always Washington. And we'll see what any status on Sid, the kid.
He's officially ruled out lower body injury for week to week, I believe, or something like that. Yeah. So
well, that
game's going to be weird, Karma. Let me ask you, so we're seeing a 5.5 shaded towards the under with this one that we're talking about here. With all the injuries and such, and we talked with Ralph yesterday about some of these games, to expect some goals with the 5.5s. Without hearing that, I would have looked at all of these players that are out potentially that you mentioned and think, man, this could be a 2-1 game. But when you look at this 5.5 outside of the break, the players that are rested, and let's be real here, I still think that both these teams, minus Fiala, minus Marner, minus Stone, there's still talent across the board. Would you be shocked if after the first period, you and I are texting tonight, it's 10 o'clock Eastern time, and we're like, wow, 2-1 after 1, and who saw this coming with all these players being out, right?
Do not text me at 10 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to be asleep by that time. But no, listen, I do get it. It'll be interesting to see. I'm going to try and watch as many games as I can tonight and have some multiple screens up, just because I think it is important to see how some of these teams play with the guys who are missing, because some of them might be missing for a couple games. So it gives you an idea of what to look forward to or what to look towards in those second games as well. But with that said, listen, the Kings have to make a push. There's nothing left for this team. The Kings, this is one of those ones where the Kings have, as I mentioned, 15 games at home, and they're going to have a good run in those 15 games. They're probably going to have to win, I would say, if they want to make the playoffs, they're probably going to have to win 11 of the 15 games at home. They're going to have to go 11-4. Then of their 11 road games, like I mentioned, 8 of them against non-playoff teams. They're going to need to pick up a good bulk of those games as well too. They're going to have to punch above their weight. And the thing is, obviously with the Fiala injury, it hurts. But this is a team that the cap space on Fiala was $7,875,000. So now that goes. They have that cap space. They have about $23 million worth of cap space if they want to go out and find a couple players, one that could possibly replace a Fiala, a rental player, and somebody else to strengthen this team, whether they do or don't, because they're not dealing from a position of strength now. That's the problem, right? Yes. People know the Kings are calling us. Desperate. They need a player. Let's make them pay, right? So they're not in a position of strength. So who knows? If the Leafs really want to tank, maybe Austin Matthews would love to go to the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he
LA,
would love to
you
be a
can
little
hang
bit
out with
warmer.
Mitch Marner. LA to Vegas, those two could hook up and go skiing or whatever. I don't know.
Let me put you on the spot here, Carm. Let me put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
We didn't talk about this game yet, and I pray that this is not a client play for you, because then I'll get in your bad books. Another game with a 5.5 towards the under here. Seattle, Dallas, 5.5 under is -115. So, you've got two games with 5.5s, and both of them are shaded towards the under. And Ralph said to us yesterday about these 5.5s, and you and I both know these days in the NHL, 5.5, you get 1-1 after the first, or you get some goals here and there. Like, it's, getting to 6 isn't as hard as it used to be. If you were to play an over in one of those two games, which one would you look towards the most?
I don't think I would take it in this game. And that's even with the fact, Andrew, that it is not Jake Ottinger in goal tonight, because I think they're talking about travel issues. So he's not even going to be the backup in goal likely tonight. I think they called someone up from their AHL team, one of the goalies, but it looks like it's going to be DeSmith. And you look at DeSmith's numbers, 11, 4, and 5, one shutout, 237 goals against average, and a 911 save percentage in 21 appearances. The guy has been a very good backup on this Dallas Stars team. And then Seattle's not a heavy scoring team. They average 2.88 goals per game. So that's something to factor in as well too. Seattle's one of those ones where if they want to get into the playoffs, they're gonna have to win games on the road. They're gonna have to win low scoring games. I like Grubauer more as a goalie. I thought he was shot. I thought he was done. And then he had a phenomenal run. I'm not even sure if that run has ended for him, but he was on a very good run. And I was like, really? Grubauer? Like, this guy is like, I thought he was like an auto over. Andrew, let me see if there's an update on Grubauer.
Whoa, speaking of updates, I just went on goaliepost.com, and that website looks good. The website looks completely different. It looks new, not old anymore. If you guys never,
so there's no deals happening. You got me a little worried there.
No, sorry, but this website looks fantastic, Carm. Goaliepost.com, guys, check it out. This, wow, it's on the app. Wow, I'm not affiliated with this website at all, but it looks pretty good. But Carm, he did play quite a bit during the Olympic break, during the Olympics, so maybe
he did play for Team Germany, but 11-6 record, 243 goals against average, 916 save percentage. Not bad at all for a guy playing for obviously for the Seattle Kraken. So we'll see how it goes. As far as Grubauer tonight, but I would lean to the under there. I think the automatic thing that people do is, and maybe I'll wait to see if people react to the fact that it's not Jake Ottinger in goal tonight, and this 5.5 somehow becomes a 6, and then I just hit the under. It is not a client play. I have no clients plays up at the moment. I do have them written down, and I will post them at the. They will go up for clients at the end of the show. I just didn't want to rush it, because give myself an extra hour to allow for some of the news reports to come across. I think it's important. And for those of you guys who are hockey clients of mine, whether you bought the Cup to Cup special with the rest of the NHL season and then the World Cup, this next 7 days, my plays are probably going to be up by noon, 1 o'clock, even 1:30, because I want to see the morning skates. I think more than anything else, after the Olympics, it is important for me to give you guys a play, knowing that the players I want in the lineup are there, and not in the press box. Okay, so do not email the office and say, "Hey, it's like 10 a.m. and there's nothing from Carmine yet." I'd rather give you a winning play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon than a losing play at 10 a.m.
Carm, speaking of that, we do have this great deal here. We'll try and get a better graphic for you guys, but this is a fantastic offer. If anybody's interested, never an obligation. But if you guys want the best bets that we have for our clients, both of us are entering this, this return to play on a really good note. Both of us on a run of our own. And, Carm, I got a lot of people on my Olympic package. We ended up doing well for it. For you, what was it? 17-5 NHL run. I was on a 15-6 run to close out the Olympics. You guys can use this BOGO deal to get 3 days of every single pick that myself and Carmine release. So you could do today. You'll get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I would recommend maybe Thursday. You get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever it might be. But you guys go to one of our pages, wt.buzz/CB or AM. You get 3 days NHL in one package. And you guys know, Carmine and I, we did not take a break when it came to the Olympic stuff. When I was not covering the Olympics for multiple sites, I was researching the NHL. Carmine was heavy into the NHL scheduling. We can't wait to be back here, guys. So 3 days, and I think this 3 days, we were going to do a month, Carm, but 3 days is so great. It really gives people a chance. If they want to jump in, it's an affordable $59, a little bit of an opportunity to hop in and see what we're all about. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm doing props. I said I wasn't going to do them. I was slowing down with it. I am doing props. So you guys can expect some props every now and then. Not every day, but I will have some props. I'm tired of cashing props on the prop segment and not giving them out to the all access guys. So if you're with me, you're going to get my favorite props each night as well.
Let me ask you a question, Andrew. When you cash a prop bet, do they pay you with different money or is it the same money?
Yeah, sometimes restaurants don't take the prop bets. Yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure the money spends the same way. I don't get it. It spends the same way. So
all the same.
It is all about wins. But with that said, since you talked about props, same game parlay for us and maybe some prop bets to go along with it.
Let's do it, Carm. I just have these three to come out of the break, and I'll have some more stuff for you guys moving forward. The reason why I only have these three for just today, Carm, is we talked about this yesterday. I don't really want to mention streaks that players are on because the streaks go back to, 2 weeks ago. Those streaks aren't really streaks anymore because they came to a pause. This guy, Nikita Kucherov, over 3.5 shots on goal, plus 115. He's been rested, ready to rock, and he's going to be up for this game against the Maple Leafs. I think he'll be shooting a ton, plus 115. Brandon Hagel, 1 point. And Evan Bouchard, over 2.5 shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers. The Ducks are one of the worst teams in shots on goal allowed in general, but especially against defensemen. Yes, this is a heavy price for Brandon Hagel, but it's more so just to get an even better number on that Nikita Kucherov shots prop. So Kucherov shots, Hagel point, and Bouchard over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 338. And again, I think I'd probably go with my best bet on this card would be Bouchard over 2.5 shots on goal. The Oilers only had a few guys at the Olympics, and as devastated as McDavid's going to be, I think the Oilers go on a pretty good run. And Carm, I'll go back to you with this. You did tell people, I believe, that the Ducks are a fade of yours in the final third of the season. We'll find out if it starts tonight. But I do think Evan Bouchard, some might have thought he could have had a shot at the Olympic team. I think he has a lot of shots tonight against the Anaheim Ducks.
Wait, what reality are we in? When did I say the Ducks are a fade? I didn't say the Ducks are a fade. I said the Ducks are going to make the playoffs on yesterday's show. You guys, you see what I have to put up with? It's just,
we have different opinions though. That's the problem.
It's like a dinner. Like my wife doesn't listen to me. I mean, it's the same thing. Come on, man. Listen, I said they're going to make the playoffs. The Ducks will make the playoffs. So yes, they will make they're in the 8th spot right now. The Ducks have 26 games left, 15 at home, 11 away. The second easiest strength of schedule to close out the season, and a ton of cap space where they could add a couple more players. They have a very good coach. He's going for 1,000 wins tonight, I believe, as well too, Andrew. So with that said, that total went up to 7. That total is at 7 right now in that game.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But,
the look on your face. The look on your face. You're
I'm
like, what?
I never. What? No. Anyways. All right.
Yeah. So
It
most
is
books
time.
showing 7, Carm, and then some books it's like minus 150 for the over. And I think
Do not
these
lay
teams played
150.
before the break, right? Didn't these teams play before the break? And the score was 7-4.
Yeah.
The score was 7-4 the last time they played.
So it went over the total, is what you're saying.
Yes. One team pretty much did it all on their own.
All right. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Okay. 7 and 4. It's 11. Yeah. Story checks out. 7 and 4 is 11. All right.
Not even close to the under. Not even close.
I didn't know we would be doing math on today's show, but apparently that's where we are with this one. All right. It is time for the pod play. We ended the pod play with a winner before the Olympic break. And we're coming out of the Olympic break and we are heading to the West Coast. Vancouver hosting the Winnipeg Jets. I am taking the Winnipeg Jets minus 135. No, it is not Hellebuck in goal tonight. It is Eric Comrie, a good goalie for them in this spot. 3-0 his last 3 starts. He's only allowed 3 goals on 75 shots. Not only that, while Hellebuck was injured, he had to pick up a lot of starts. But when he was in his normal backup role and wasn't starting back-to-back games for them, he's 8-2 on the season. A pretty solid record. This is what the Jets have. They're 11 points out of the playoffs right now. They're it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs, but the next 10 to 14 days for them, this is who they play: the Vancouver Canucks, and then the Anaheim Ducks, the San Jose, Chicago Blackhawks, Tampa Bay, toughest one of all of those games, Vancouver again, Anaheim again, New York Rangers. If they go 6-2 on that road, not on that road trip, over those 8 games, 6-2, and pick up 12 points, they are right back in the playoff race. Is still going to be tough for them, but if you want some hope, that's the hope. It's got to start in Vancouver tonight, who are pretty much toast, and they are starting the goalie from Belarus tonight, Nikita Tilopolo. So let's hopefully I didn't butcher his name. We'll see what Vancouver has tonight, but give me the Winnipeg Jets minus 135 as your pod play.
I like it, Carm. I like it, and I like that graphic. Those are looking pretty good. So Winnipeg Jets, play of the day, the POD for Carmine. And again, for me, we're going with 3 player props: Hagel, Kucherov, and Evan Bouchard. And we got that great BOGO special. You know, if you guys are interested, never an obligation, but what a great deal. $59. You can get all the plays. We always tell people you can get a daily pick. You can go to sportsmemo.com right now and you can get a $7 play, which is fantastic. But we hope that you guys manage your bankrolls. You know, Karma, when people go over and buy those $7 plays at Sportsmemo, or they get a $5 play on Tuesday, we want you guys to still manage your bankroll. If you buy this, you're going to get Carmine's plays and my plays for 3 straight days, everything on the ice that we release. So, and then, Carm, if it does well, we'll try and figure out a package for the long term. I know you've got a great deal going right now for cup to cup with hockey and soccer, and I've got one in the works for hockey and bases on the diamond, because I ended up on a really good run to close out baseball last year, and a lot of people don't know me from my baseball handicapping, but we actually do pretty well with some of the team totals and such in baseball. So I've got just 2 plays for tonight so far, and that'll be it. I've got 1 play that you guys can get at Sports Memo. I'll probably have that around 1 o'clock up there. For, I don't know, Carmen, if we've talked to people on PuckTime since the deal has come around. But for those of you guys that aren't aware, we're going to be able to have 1 play and 1 play only each and every day at sportsmemo.com for $7. And that one play will be a play that's also a client play over at WagerTalk as well.
Yeah, no, it is a great deal. It's a marketplace for those that enjoy $2 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk because it falls in their budget. And I talk to clients offline or like via DM all the time on Twitter and say to them, listen, who are looking for like packages. I'm like, this might be too expensive a package to fight that goes with the bankroll that you have. If you're flat betting, let's say hypothetically, you're flat betting like $20 or $30 a game, then I don't think it makes sense to buy a $699 package, right? So I look for deals for clients and try and get them like a month at a much reduced price or what have you, just to get their feet wet. But the $5 one is great at WagerTalk on Tuesdays, and $7 every single day over at Sportsmemo, which is a marketplace there. So you can get plays there, and you can see if I have a play up there, I will put in the ad copy normally. This is a client play over at WagerTalk as well too, which means it's not for sale over at WagerTalk, but it's loaded for my all access clients. So it is something to look at. I think it's very important that you guys manage your bankroll each and every day. And that's what the pod is supposed to do for you guys, is show you that flat betting one game a night and showing some discipline can make you money throughout the year. So we are we're up 26. So that's like we're up 52% on the season on the bankroll. So that is that I'm pretty happy with that, and we'll see if we can get it to double the bankroll at the end. But with that said, one play up today goes at 3:00 today. It's at WagerTalk. As far as soccer goes, it's a Champions League 5% play, and my NHL will go up shortly once I've looked at all the reports from the team reporters who are at the morning skates this morning, and I will get my plays out for clients. Andrew, anything to add and close it out?
Ready to rock and roll, Carm. Ready to rock. Be careful, guys. Manage the bankrolls. But I think this is the time. If you hear anybody calling it the second half of the season, it's not the second half of the season. It's the final third of the season. We're already a large portion of the way through the season. So let's buckle up from now until the end of the season, Carm. You and I are ready to go. So looking forward to it. The games are back tonight, and I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to watching hockey again at night because I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
Hockey was over by 5:00 every day during the Olympics. So don't miss Carmine's play this afternoon, guys. Soccer action, WT.buzz/CB. I got plays at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo as well. WagerTalk today coming up in 7 minutes time. Always a great time on that show. And that will do it for today's episode. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow right here on PuckTime.